Do y'all actually know how to be a friend, or are you just capping? And do y'all actually want friends, or are you just capping? Friendship is absolutely beautiful, okay? And I feel like more women should really lean into creating more friendships. It is the foundation of sisterhood, community. Now, everybody has their own definition of what a friend is or what a friend is supposed to be. And I think we all need to get to the root of this for ourselves. Yes, everybody's definition of friendship is going to look and feel a bit different. And there's nothing wrong with that, okay? There's nothing wrong with it. But it's something you need to be aware of for yourself as you move forward with getting to know different people. So in this video, I'm going to talk about what I think a good friend is, a bad friend is, why it's okay to have limits, and why it's also okay to critically think about your motivations going into friendships. So what is a bad friend? Think about the kind of person that only hits you up when they need something. Someone that never authentically checks in, or someone who only calls you to bail them out of a crisis. Someone who is consistently negative, critical, oversteps your boundaries, possibly gives you backhanded compliments, is overly competitive with you for no reason. They might invalidate your feelings. It's someone who rarely uplifts you and holds space for you, or someone who places expectations on you that they can't even meet themselves. If you can think about some more bad friend traits, let me know down in the comments. Good friend. This is the kind of person that surely uplifts you. They cheer you on. They're like your biggest cheerleader. They show you love and give you grace and make sure to hold space for your feelings. Also, they will respect your space if you need it. A good friend shows up in their own way and gives you room to be yourself without judgment. Now, here's the key. A good friend isn't going to be perfect. Okay, nor do they have to be perfect. One thing that I'm super big on that some people really don't agree on and kind of don't like is putting your friends in categories. Because some people are like, well, if I can't count on them to drop everything for me at all times, then they're not my friend. I just don't agree with that. Because sis, maybe they're just not your best friend. Okay, maybe they're just not your ride or die. And that's okay. That's okay in my book. It doesn't mean that that person doesn't have anything of value to add to your life. It doesn't mean you can't enjoy that person. It doesn't mean you can't spend time with that person.
You stupid.
Also, I've noticed that some people like to make a clear difference between calling someone their friend and calling someone their acquaintance. Me, I don't really make such a huge deal about that because I don't personally mind, but that is your call, okay? If you don't want to call somebody your friend because they're not doing specific things, you don't have to call them your friend. But me personally, I'll call you my friend if you're just Bob off the street.
What?
Back to the categories, okay? Here's how I like to think about it. I have a friend that's always down for brunch. I have a friend that knows all of my deepest lore, okay? I have childhood friends that have seen me through all the phases in my life thus far. I also have the friend I can go to the bar with and throw it in a circle together. I have the friend I can do creative projects with and kind of network with. I have friends who I could do business with. I have a friend who just checks in with me every few months. I still consider her my friend. I have friends at the skating rink that I can always have a good time with if I want to skate. I have social media friends who always like and support all of my posts. My list goes on and on and on because I learn how people can show up for me and the ways in which they can't show up for me. And I just choose to meet them where they are because I'm okay with that. Some friends may check multiple boxes. Okay, some friends may only check one box, but it's extremely rare to have a friend that's gonna check all of your freaking boxes all the time because not all friends are all purpose. And you can't expect one person to be your emotional support, your hype woman, your therapist, the person that loans you money all the time, your business partner, all rolled into one. That is a heavy role to place on anybody. And this is also why you have to think about your motivations. You have to consider, why do you want friends? Okay, what kind of friends do you actually want? Mamas, you need to figure out what you can tolerate and what you can't tolerate before you form relationships with other people, because the last thing you want to do is be resenting somebody because they're not showing up exactly the way that you want them to. Because that's when things get super weird, and that's when people's feelings get hurt. For example, if you're at a point in your life where you feel like you only want friendships where you can have deep conversations with your friends, keep that in mind as you're getting to know people. You have to learn to develop discernment about the capacities of other people. Say you've gotten to know somebody better, right? But you're finding that they can't get into deep conversations with you. You honestly don't have to make space for that type of friendship in your life if you really don't want to. If you really don't want that type of friendship, you don't have to have it in your life, sister. Because you can choose your friends and you can be selective. But what you shouldn't do is make friends and make assumptions about who they are and who they can be for you. Stop and think. Look at your upbringing, at how you were raised. Look at your personality, your character, and consider the reasons why you may go into friendships looking for certain things, because there's a reason behind everything. It's worth a thought. You will outgrow people. Okay, it's gonna happen. Sometimes your life changes, sometimes you change. And you all of a sudden don't gel with certain people, places, and things anymore. It's possible that you shared some old habits with a person that you no longer have, and they're still doing those habits. Some people just don't vibe with you, and that's fine. It's nothing you can force. So don't force it. All right, just let it rock. Because sometimes you gotta feel out the energy. All right. And if it doesn't feel right, it doesn't feel right for a reason. Friendship should feel like you are choosing it, not chasing it. It should feel really natural. Trust me, this is coming from somebody who has chased down many of friendships that I shouldn't have. And another thing, okay, sometimes y'all just don't let friendships grow. You just don't give friendships enough time to form. It takes time to form a bond, which is why you can't place so much pressure on somebody straight out the gate. You may also find that you may have a homegirl where y'all just stuck to just shopping together at first. But then later on, time goes by, and then you start having deeper and deeper conversations. You get to know each other better, and y'all start vibing so much better, and you get closer. Okay? That happens too. And even if a friendship isn't meant to be super duper close and y'all eventually fall off, that's okay too. I have had friends that I literally fell out with. Okay, fell out with. We had a fight. I still care for them. They could call me today and everything will be cool. Mostly because they didn't do anything egregious to me, but there's no reason to hold a grudge. Here is the thing. Friendship doesn't mean anything goes. It doesn't mean everything goes. It's normal to have boundaries with your friends. Mental boundaries, emotional boundaries, physical boundaries, etc., etc. That's perfectly normal. If a friend keeps venting about her toxic relationship and doesn't plan to change anything about it, it's okay to be like, hey girl, I don't think I can talk about this anymore if you're not going to do anything about it. If you're not standing on business, I don't think I can talk about this anymore because it's weighing heavily on me. It's okay to say that. And that's not being mean. We are not trauma dumpsters. And listen, I am a friend who I don't have a problem with you working through whatever you feel like you need to work through with that stupid man, okay? I give grace. I understand because I've been there before. Okay, so I don't mind that, but I do have boundaries. If a man is cheating on you and you keep complaining about him cheating on you and you won't leave, that's something I cannot talk about. That's something I won't allow someone to keep talking with me about, because that's just my limit. So I'll say, girl, just don't talk to me about that no more. And it's all love. Boundaries don't ruin friendships, they protect friendships. At the end of the day, friendships are supposed to feel reciprocal and safe. You are absolutely allowed to choose who gets access to your time, space, and your energy, okay? Don't get me wrong. At the same time, I also think it's important to consider if you're being fair to people and accepting people for who they are, if you really want to do that. It's okay to have standards and boundaries, but what they shouldn't be are things that you just don't talk about or communicate. Because you can't expect people to read your mind, and you can't expect people to show up for you in ways that you don't speak about. You have to open your mouth and speak up about it, because they can either give you what you're asking for or they can't. Friends come and go, and you'll learn what you like in a friend and what you don't like in a friend, who you actually want to call your friend and who you don't want to call your friend. But just as much as you inspect how other people show up, you have to inspect how you show up as well. Well, that's all I got for this hot take. Okay, let me know what you think in the comments. Tell me, what is a good friend to you and what's a bad friend? What's been your experience? As always, stay gorgeous, and I will see you in the next one.